has crashed into the stump. And he goes for the hook, misses everything. Bit of a half shout from Haddon. This is going to be a contest and a half. There was a few words exchanged between the batsmen, Peterson and Johnson.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about the Ashes, the biggest rivalry in cricket, and why I think this series won't be as close as people expect. Yeah, you heard that right. Despite all the hype around baseball, I think Australia are going to take the series 3-1 with England's only win being in Adelaide. In this video, I'll break down how Australian pitches have changed, why England's aggressive style doesn't work as well away from home, the Ashes record in Australia over the last 20 years, and where I think each test could be won or lost. So let's get into it. The myth of a close Ashes. Every Ashes series comes with the same hype. This'll be tight. England's new approach can beat anyone. But history and conditions say otherwise. Australia at home are a completely different beast. Even when they're not at their best, they know how to win in their backyard. England, meanwhile, have struggled badly every time they've crossed the equator. And that's one main reason. The pitches. The pitch factor. Let's talk about the pitch factor, because this will define the whole series. In the past, Australian wickets used to be flat, true bounce, easy to drive, and very forgiving for batters. But over the last few years, that's changed dramatically. The Gabba, it's still quick and bouncy, but there's now more movement on day one. New ball spells can be brutal. Perth, arguably the best track in the world, the fastest track in the world. The bounce is steep and uncomfortable, perfect for bowlers like Cummins, Hazelwood, Boland and Stark. The MCG, it used to be dead and slow, but now offers variable bounce later in the match and sideways movement with the new ball. The SCG, it still takes spin, but it's not a paradise for batting anymore. Adelaide, arguably the best batting track in the country. That's where England might fancy their chances. These aren't conditions that suit England's high-risk, high-reward batting. Baseball works best on flat decks, where batters can throw their hands through the line, but where there's bounce, swing and sideways movement, that same aggression turns into loose shots and collapses. Why baseball will struggle? England's baseball has been revolutionary, no doubt. It's exciting, fearless and fun to watch. But it's also built for very specific conditions. Let's be honest, most of England's success has come on flat home pitches or low, slow subcontinent tracks, places like Rawalpindi, where there's barely any pace or bounce. In Australia, it's a whole different story. When you've got Cummins, Hazelwood and Stark attacking you with bounce and swing at 145 kilometers, you just can't charge down the wicket and scoop them over fine leg and over the slips. The moment you play those attacking shots on lively Australian pitches, there's a good chance it flies straight to gully or deep third. And once a few wickets fall early, that fearless intent suddenly turns into desperation. Baseball needs flat pitches to survive. Australia's aren't flat anymore. That's why I think England's aggressive approach will actually play into Australia's hands, especially earlier in the series. The Ashes record in Australia. Let's look at the numbers, because they tell the story perfectly. In the last 20 years, here's the record. In 2006 and 2007, Australia won 5-0 with that legendary Australian team. Guys like Shane Warne, Glenn McGrath, Brett Lee, Justin Langer and others. 2010-2011, England's only success, a 3-1 win. Something where Stuart Broad said that was Australia's worst team in 2 decades. 2013-2014, Australia win 5-0 again. Remember that series? Mitchell Johnson steamed in at every batsman, hitting them in the ribs, hitting them in the head at 150 kilometers. 2017-2018, Australia won 4-0 again. Steve Smith smashed England everywhere. They had no answers. He averaged around 110 in that series. In 2021-2022, Australia won 4-0 again. Travis Head smashed them in the first test. Guys like Mitchell Starc and Pat Cummins tore England apart. And Scott Boland, remember the MCG, 6 for 7. He should have a statue at the MCG already after that Ashes series. That's 4 Australian series wins out of 5, all dominant, and England haven't won a test in Brisbane since 1986. History doesn't lie. It's been 2 decades of dominance, and nothing suggests that will change just because England are playing faster cricket. So here's a match-by-match breakdown. The first test at Perth. The Optus Stadium is becoming a fortress. The bounce and movement on day 1 will expose England's top order. Expect Hazelwood, Boland and Stark to make early inroads. England's aggressive batting won't work here. Australia will go 1-0 up. The second test at the Gabba, under the lights. Australia are too good under lights. The pink ball swings under lights and bowlers like Stark, Hazelwood and Boland could get into their work quickly. Pat Cummins may be back for this test as well. Stark under lights is dangerous, and I see Marnus getting 100 here with Australia getting a huge first innings score. I don't see England having a chance this test. 2-0 Australia going into Adelaide. The third test at Adelaide. England bounce back but keep their Ashes hopes alive. It's probably the best batting pitch in the country nowadays, and I see Joe Root getting his first 100 in Australia, cementing his spot as one of the all-time greats. Guys like Harry Brook and Jamie Smith could do well here as well, as the short square boundaries could play to their advantage. Baseball will flourish here, and England will win their first test in 15 years in Australia. 2-1 going into Boxing Day at the MCG. The fourth test, MCG on Boxing Day. 90,000 fans, packed crowd, and fired up Aussies. The pitch I'm predicting will be a green mamba. Boland could come in for Hazelwood at the G. Australia will win, led by a marvellous Smith double 100 in the second innings, and we could see another Boland special in the fourth test. Australia retain the Ashes and are 3-1 up going into the New Year's test. The fifth test in Sydney. Traditionally around this time of the year, Sydney pours down rain. I think we could see Khawaja and Smith hundreds at their home ground. Lyon could play a big role on day 5 after day 3 and day 4 gets washed out. I think England will go for the win, but rain will win again in Sydney, ending the 2025-2026 Ashes series 3-1. My summary and final thoughts. So yeah, I don't think this Ashes will be anywhere near as close as people are saying. England's best ball is entertaining, but in Australian conditions, it's more of a risk than a weapon. Australia are just too strong, too experienced, and too used to their own conditions. England will compete. They'll have moments, but over 5 tests, the home advantage and pitch factors will be too much. My final prediction, Australia 3, England 1. England's only win will come in Adelaide. So that's my take. The Ashes won't be as close, and baseball might finally meet its match. What do you think? Drop your predictions down below. Who wins? Who's player of the series? And does baseball survive against Australia's pace attack? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more cricket content. Thanks for watching, and bring on the Ashes.